What if Deku had his time skip power? Part 4. So this weekend, I'm going to ask you guys again, what should I do? I have 3 options that I've been thinking about, and especially my Discord server with other people from subscribers. So one thing we came up with was a half and half quirk. Either he's like the brother, like he's the brother of Todoroki. Either he has like light and darkness, or like wind and earth, or something like that. Or fire and ice, just on the opposite side. Or we have Bill Cipher's powers, or Saitama's powers, like One Punch Man. And if you want the half and half power, please tell me if you guys want like wind and earth, fire and ice, or fire and ice, or dark and light. So to get in with this video, they all come back from the USJ attack to find out in 2 weeks' time that they are going to have to go to the sports festival. Now, one bit of training that Deku is going to do is he's going to go on the beach that he cleaned. I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but he did clean Deoguba Beach, where he's just going to set up a line, and he just has to keep time skipping, to keep time skip moving until he gets all the way to the start, or to the end of the beach. So he starts there and then finishes. He basically does this and trains on his ki, because he needs a lot of ki, which actually boosts him up to a lot of ki, basically. Like, he has a ton of control of it now. I'd say he's about somewhat of hit in DBZ Super. So he could, if Goku was in Super Saiyan 1, he could probably take him down. So he's stronger than Frieza. But I'm going to make him not want to use his full power, because he still wants to have fun, so he's kind of like a Saiyan. And since he's kind of like a Saiyan, he still wants to have, like, fights, but he's not really a Saiyan. So I'm going to say his time skip moved up to around 7 by the end of the 2 weeks, as now it's a lot harder for him to get more seconds on it. I'd say it takes him about a second per week. Every week he gets 1 second. So yeah. At the start of the sports festival, everyone lines up. And then Midnight says, "Alright, first thing we're doing is an obstacle race. Please go to the starting line." As everyone just runs, as soon as President Mike says go, everyone just starts running. Well, Deku concentrates and does the technique that he learned to go super fast, where you could see him like as if he was skipping around. Like, one time he'd be here, and the next he'd be over here. Like, it looked like he was teleporting very small locations from how fast he was. As he'd be sprinting, then disappear, then be sprinting in another location, basically. That's kind of how it is. In reality, he's just in his time dimension running. His time dimension basically just slows down reality. That's basically what I'm saying hit powers is. As he passes the 0-pointer, nobody even realizes he's in first. Like, Todoroki just doesn't see him, as he's only doing 3-second ones. And then once he gets up to first place, he starts doing 7-second ones. But this really like tires him out, because he's still trying to control 7 fully, as he didn't have enough time to do that. So he just keeps going. And then he gets to the mines, and he's like, He started going in a zigzag just to avoid like the blast mostly. And since he got first, he's going to have the 1 million points. As Midnight announces that the next battle will be a cavalry battle with headbands, and she says, the person in first, Azuki Midoriya, will have 1,000,000 points. He's like, okay. As nobody goes to join his team, even though he has such power. Nobody decides to join his team, so he's just smiling as he's leaning up against the wall. As he starts walking to the middle of the arena, so he won't get cornered. Even though it's not really going to matter, he can just time skip out. He's kind of like a yard rat. If you think about it, he just can't, go up in size. And, random, he can't instant transmission or whatever. But it's kind of like that. So, Deku, midnight yells start. Instead of President Mike this time, doesn't really matter. Everybody encircles him, and one by one they each start charging, only for the entire team to go down with nobody even seeing. Just it looks like he's not even moving. It's like when Hit punched Goku to kill him, like how the punch went through the air like that. Like the shockwave was so much. Like he keeps doing that, but also grabbing the headband at the same time. Like he doesn't he doesn't grab the headband because he doesn't really need it, but he just shockwaves them. He has his arms down by his side. When in the dimension, he just keeps punching the people that keep charging him, and they just keep falling down, eliminating more and more teams, only leaving Todoroki's team and Bakugo's team. As soon as Todoroki apparently sees an opening, he says, "Ida now!" as Ida yells, "Reciprocal burst!" as he starts going super fast. Deku turns around with a devilish smile on his face, and he says, "Still too slow." As everything seems to slow down for him, he turns around and punches the air, creating a massive shockwave, making fans just drop out of their seats and sending Ida, Momo, Kaminari, and Todoroki right into the wall. Everyone's like, "Damn, what power!" Only for Deku to not realize it, that Bakugo's charging, for him to duck under, time skip, and punch Bakugo right in the stomach as he falls and touches the ground, making Deku the winner. And everyone just starts cheering Deku is the winner of the cavalry battle. And the last 3 teams that survived will be going on. And teams are damn it, if only we just waited and not attacked. And then they would have moved on to the 1v1s, which is where we are now. The 1v1s are, the 1v1s, I'm just going to say flat out, same people. Shinso starts coming at him, and Deku is standing there with his eyes closed, seeing his ki, which I'm going to say seeing their ki also allows them to see their power level and quirk. I'm going to say Saiyans couldn't do this because they didn't have a high enough power level. So I'm going to say if you're higher power level than a Super Saiyan, then you can, which means all canon people pretty much can't do it. All Saiyans that aren't Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Goten, all those Saiyans from Planet Vegeta, they can't read the power levels just based on reading their ki. But Deku, or otherwise known as Hit from his elementary school, knows how to read this, and he also knows how to read the quirks. So when Shinso is "You're so lucky to be born with the power. It's actually heroic." As Deku cracks his knuckles and says, "Yeah, I am lucky. That's thanks to my training." And as soon as Shinso heard that, he smirks and says, "Gotcha." As Deku slows down time, he can see the force wave, which I'm going to say, like, in order for him to brainwash him, it's kind of like sound waves. So Shinso has to hear it, and then he forces sound waves into their brain to forces them into their mind so he can control them. And Deku sees this and he dodges it. And he's like, your puny end control quirk won't work on me. You should have been training it so you can get it to a higher magnitude. As he gets into a stance and takes one step, people don't even see him punch. He just takes one step and Shinso's flying out of the arena. He's like, he puts his hand above his eyes and he's like, did I really hit him that hard? As he just starts walking away with his hands in his pockets, like grumbling, like, damn, I've gotten too strong for my own good. As he's walking, he runs into Endeavor and he's like, I see you're against my son next. Make him use his fire. And I'm like, and Deku's like, if he doesn't want to use it, he doesn't want to use it. That's all I can tell you. As Endeavor's about to walk in front of Deku, Deku's side just turns around, puts his hand on Endeavor's shoulder, and he's like, I suggest you become a better father. So right now, I have every single charge in the world that could be against domestic violence and abuse. I don't think you want that. And I'm never just like, what? You're right, as he walks away. As Todoroki is walking down, Deku pulls him over and says, if Endeavor even tries to do anything, I have so much evidence against him, just tell me and I'll go to UA. But I have a bad feeling he's about to do something. A really bad feeling. As they're on the arena, Deku's like, use your fire side. You may have gotten it from... Use your fire side. It's your own quirk. He can't control it. You have you're half ice. He only has fire. Fight me up 100%. As Todoroki sends a large icicle, or large iceberg at Deku, only for him to sidestep, reel his hand back, making a ball of ki, and just chuck it right at him. And Todoroki tries to block it, only for it to land right in his chest to deal no damage. He's like, what the? As the ball starts expanding, and it just like makes a tiny pop, as Todoroki just takes a step back, like shaking, and then he just falls right unconscious. And Deku's like, wasn't sure if that was gonna work. Could only go two ways. Either he was knocked out or he was killed. Kinda lucky there. As he just like kind of rubs the back of his head, laughing, and like everyone's sweat drops, like, damn, that kid's lucky. So, now we're on to Deku versus Bakugo. Bakugo's like, I'll beat you, Deku. You're not gonna be able to beat me. Ever since middle school, you haven't been able to beat me. He's like, that's because I haven't reversed you since middle school. And Bakugo's like, that's because you were scared. As soon as midnight says start, Deku launches straight at Bakugo. And he's like, scared? Really? I think you're the one who should be scared. As he puts his hands down to his side and he says 4 syllables that Bakugo fears. Ka-me-ha-me. He waits for the last one, And he's like, wait, I got a counter. As Bakugo sends a giant explosion, only for it to disappear. And he's like, what, where'd it go? Only for Deku to appear right behind him and say, ha! Just sending a massive ki blast, launching him straight up into the air, only for him to fall and make a crater in the ground. Everyone's like, dang, such power. And that's where I'm going to leave it off, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy. And please remember, this is a very important part to the story. There's a lot of important stuff that's going to happen in this story, okay? Alright, see ya, guys. Bye.